blow in her face and she'll follow you anywhere.
You are destroying the Constitution of the United States. May God have mercy on your souls.
Good day.
Yes.
Sir, say. Good day.
We could be saved if we just elected the right white man to power.
That's creepy, but that's in a different category of creepy.
Zit-zoo, zit-zoo, zit-zoo.
Gary Gygax. Of course he introduced zoning laws.
Okay.
You know what? Don't.
Yeah.
The less I have to do with that game, the better.
Here's my favorite part of the defense. Claudius was probably fucking his sister.
Jughead, not Jarhead. I have nothing against Marines. I want to make that very clear. I'd be really interested to find out what fucking truth that woman was trying to get at.
Like with most episodes, I can bring it back to wrestling. Oh. Right, well, he's got other people who work for him who also do things, and they can transmutate human size into smaller worlds, after all.
Fuck you.
I still don't give a shit about getting fake property in a fantasy game. This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. My name is Ed Blaylock. I'm a world history teacher here in Northern California, currently engaged in distance learning. And earlier today, I had the wonderful fun of, for the first time, having a student try to join my class under the pseudonym Ben Dover.
I don't get it. Is that not his name?
No, he's not on my roster. I don't know.
Weird. Send him to counseling.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I'm sorry, Mr. Dover, you're going to have to go speak with the principal because we don't have you on my roll.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So we did wind up having an issue come up where a number of kids got kicked off of everybody's roster because they don't have their current TDAP records turned in.
Oh.
Which, like, here's the deal. I fully believe that, you know, if a kid isn't up to date on their immunizations, then they shouldn't be going to school. With that being said, though, right now, of course, this is Northern California, and I'm in a county on the watch list, which means they're not actually going anywhere to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it kind of seems, I mean, like I understand we need to make sure they get those records updated, but, like, do I need to actually have the conversation with them that I can't let you into my class right now because because your parents need to talk to the office? Like, I actually had to say that to students today because the office told me I had to say that to students today. And it was one of the most surreal experiences I've had in this entire slow motion catastrophe. Is like, well, okay, your immunization records aren't up to date, so you can't come to school, but you're not actually coming to school.
Yeah, it feels like all the anti-vaxxers would actually be able to attend class.
You kind of think, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, so yeah. It was truly like it felt like waiting for Godot. I mean, it felt like, and I can't remember the author's name right now, but it really felt like that kind of play.
Oh, that was Beckett.
Like, no, I'm sorry, it's Comedy of the Absurd.
Wow.
Beckett.
Yeah, that was Beckett. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally felt like something out of Beckett. Like, no, I can't. Yeah, I can't let you into my plague classroom because you're not immunized. Like, hold on. Yeah. So that was the bass awkwardness of part of my day today. Who are you?
I'm Damian Harmony. I'm a distance Latin teacher. I haven't had to kick anybody out of my Zoom rooms for not being vaccinated, but I do know that every couple years I have to get a tuberculosis test. And because I taught kids who were from refugee camps in the early part of my career, I ended up testing positive for tuberculosis because I developed antibodies. I never had TB, but I was around kids who had it or who had themselves been exposed to it. The result is I can't do the little sticky in the arm test. Okay. I have to get a chest x-ray. So every couple years I have to get a chest x-ray showing that I don't have TB. So I went to them and I said, I got a chest x-ray. This was a few years back. And when I did, I said, okay, can you send it over to my employer? No problem. Boom, boom, boom. So got the x-rays. the employer says, oh, we need to have the actual x-rays. I said, okay, I can have them email it to you. Well, an email won't count. I said, okay, well, what do you need? They said, well, if you could fax it to us. I said, you do realize a fax is a paper version of an email, right? And they said, well, if you emailed it to us, it would have to have the letterhead or like the masthead of the website of the hospital on it as well. I said, okay, well, if I faxed it, it wouldn't have that. And they said, oh, yeah, but that's fine. A fax works. I said, so
yeah.
And it was this weird, like, I'm not even going to say it was Beckett-like or even Ionesco-like. I'm going to say it was Kafka-esque. There was no way I could get out of this Gordian knot that was also a Mobius strip. Like, here's the thing. I'm okay. Interrupt because the punchline is coming. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna argue. I don't think it's Kafka.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Heller. What you're describing is a literal catch-22.
Could be. Here's why I'm gonna say that it's actually Kafka-esque, because at the end of it all, I got them what they needed, and they said, okay, you're still not cleared to work with kids. I said, why not? They said, because you need to fill out this survey. And the survey was 2 boxes, yes and no. Do you have tuberculosis? No. And then I handed it to them. They said, great. I said, did you actually need any of the other stuff then? And they said, oh, no, this would have done just fine. You can just do it. No, I said, what do we need to do next time? And they said, oh, you just fill out the survey next time and it's fine. You know that I could have lied on that. And I wouldn't have to go get the damn x-ray and take a day off. So here's the thing. I have 2 wonderful children. If they grow up
Lord.
and they come home, Dad, I'm queer. Cool. You met someone? They come home, they say, Dad, I'm voting for whatever party exists at the time. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Maybe we'll have some ideological differences, but hopefully they'll have gone way further left than I did. They come home and they say, Dad, I'm going to major in business. I'll respect their lifestyle choice, but I won't endorse it. They come home and they say, Dad, I've gone to work for your district, and I'm going to be the one instituting these kinds of policies. They will not be allowed in my house ever again. Because I raised them better than that.
I raised you to be the people. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. So, all right. Last time we talked about a couple of really good episodes of Deep Space Nine that are eerily prescient. This time,
yes,
we're going to do a watch along. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you, as well as everyone else, to queue up on Amazon Prime if you've got it, because I don't think Netflix does it anymore, or if you have Hulu without the commercials, this will work too. You're going to queue up season 3, episode 11. It's called Past Tense Part 1.
Yep.
Go ahead and queue it up.
I have it queued up already. I'm right there.
So, and while people are queuing it up, honestly, you all can just hit pause while you do it. It's you don't have to do this live. Beauty of podcast.
This is asynchronous. This is asynchronous learning time right now.
God damn it.
You can do this at your own pace.
That's right. And now you, sir, you specifically, Ed,
yes.
You need to make sure you skip the ad, and you need to make sure you scrub that little ball all the way back and hit pause. This is what we call targeted instruction.
Okay. So we have our camera turned off, so I can't show you 5 fingers for I'm totally on board, 3 fingers for I'm mostly there, and 1 finger for like I'm completely lost.
Right.
Can't do that one, but I can tell you that I have done all of that.
Good.
I am at 0000, ready to hit play when you say.
Good. I actually, I had the kids today, I was like, hey, I'm teaching them how to use the Zoom. And I said, hey, go ahead and click on the React. Give me a thumbs up if you've done this. And then they do that, and like all these thumbs just fill the screen, and I'm like, I haven't seen this many thumbs up since I was at the doctor's. And some of the kids are like wide-eyed, like, what the fuck? I'm like, I just have really good health, and the doctors are all very proud of me, and moved on. Because it also works that way.
See, you teach high school, so you can get away with a joke like that.
Yeah, I can be the middle schooler.
I envy you. Yeah, no, teaching seventh and eighth graders. No, there'd 100% be a parent complaint.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right, so everybody's queued up.
My envy for you birds.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna say go.
Okay.
After I say go, you click play. All right. So we'll just practice real quick. Here's the cadence of it. Don't everybody do it yet. 3, 2, 1, go. And then you'd click it. All right?
Okay.
Here we go.
Right.
Now, make sure that your closed captioning is on, Ed, because we're not going to do it with sound, because then we'll get busted for copyright. Everyone else, watch it with sound.
Okay.
Just have us in one ear. All right. We ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. All right. Cold open.
The usual, cold open establishing shot of the Defiant. Here we go.
Yes. And they are flying to Earth.
Yeah.
And somebody has a sister
in Portland.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And for some reason, they managed to fit the entire ops crew on the bridge. I don't get how or why. I don't get why Jadzia would be as the science officer, she would be at the helm. I don't get why O'Brien would be. I guess he's an engineer, so that would make sense. So and Bashir I could understand, but again, doesn't the station need all of these senior officers? See, here's Cisco before he shaved his head and before he got his beard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to look at who else. Oh, and why would anybody from Bajoran liaison offices be on this ship going to Earth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's Quark making an appearance because we gotta see everybody.
Right.
You're on an emergency channel.
Yeah, and he is basically he's doing what he can to talk about the Grand Nagus. And again, why would Odo be there too?
Yeah, well, yeah. It is a writing choice I don't quite understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, slight misunderstanding. Yeah, okay. So nepotism amongst the Ferengi, big shock.
Yeah. And here's where Cisco actually quotes back the rules of acquisition to Quark. I
have been reading up, and he has suitably impressed Quark.
Yeah.
But also remind him of the 217th rule of acquisition. You can't free a fish from water. Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be sure the Nagus gets the message.
So here we are. And I love how, since this is a smaller ship, it's got a tiny transporter. Which, again, O'Brien, by the way, is stuck using the transporter.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's strange.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing serious, you say. Power fluctuation. Annular confinement beam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's impossible.
Yep. And so now we've got the tech talk that gets us to the actual...
They're just gone.
What happened. Yeah. And...
Oh, hey. So, okay. All right. I just kind of want to say that, based on the conversations I've had about, transporters actually being suicide machines, I feel like O'Brien ought to be a little more horrified of the fact that, 3 of his friends have just been disintegrated and not shown up where they were supposed to be. Like,
yeah,
it seemed an awful lot like,
did you notice there's
really
Logan
weird.
sleeping on the streets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're asking for ID.
Identification UHC card.
Oh, first mention of DIMS.
With shotguns,
Yeah, the
uniforms.
cops have
Something
shotguns.
familiar about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're same as it was yesterday, 2024. You know, there's something I don't know how
I
to
was wondering
pin it,
how they divided them. Notice that Dax is actually physically not too far from them, but she ended up, on the subway.
inside
Yeah.
inside the subway station.
Now, I'm not skipping the intro, so we're just going to let that play
Okay.
through.
And while we're playing that,
Mm-hmm.
there's something about 90s science fiction shows, and DS9 was one with pretty high level production values, but there's something about I don't know if it's lighting or the medium on which stuff was recorded, but there's that scene in broad daylight with everybody in the uniforms in their outfits reminded me very strongly of like the kind of aesthetic that you got on shows like Monsters and Tales from the Dark Side.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know how familiar you are with either one of those.
I'm
but
not.
Something about the jumpsuits the cops were wearing, and there's a certain I don't quite want to say cheapness, but a certain I don't know
No,
very
it is.
feels very studio.
Yeah. Well, it
the
is. It's a
whole
back
thing.
lot. I mean, you saw the background there, and it was a quick, easy shop front, and you have just a nice tight shot on everything, so you don't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the guy that played the guy that called them Dims, his name is Dick Miller.
Yeah.
He has been in everything. He was in the Terminator. He was the pawn shop clerk. He has been in everything. He did voice work. Okay. He's kind of one of those everyman.
On TV tropes, the name of that trope is, hey, it's that guy.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, here we are back.
All right, so here, Jadzia.
Now she's in the subway, and she's wearing her communicator, which means that she's got a little bit of gold on her.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Get jacked or something, robbed.
And he's asking her. Now notice, white woman not being asked by the authorities, asked by a private citizen. Right? And he's doing everything to be nice. As opposed to, you guys must be Dims.
Yeah. Shouldn't be walking around with that ID. Better order some replacements.
Mm-hmm. Come on up to my office with me.
Yeah.
I also like that 90s thought that in 30 years that style would still wouldn't have neckties anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. That the male uniform since practically since the easily Victorian era, since Dickensian times that. Well, he kind of has a tie, but it's not,
a tie, but it's not a long tie anymore.
Weird.
So
yeah.
Now this is an exterior shot that was probably shot in L.A.
Yeah,
but
could be just about the exterior of just about any high-rise office building.
Mm-hmm. Now here we're back with Cisco, or no, not Cisco, O'Brien, and Kira trying to figure out what happened. And so we're just going to see that they're trying to solve the problem, and it's going to be a little bit. This honestly, this is the service to the fact that they're in the future and that they're trying to fix the problem. But it's not the real plot.
Narratively, that's no, it's not. It's the explanation of meanwhile, in order to try to find a way to get them back. Mm-hmm. Because
chronoton particles.
Chronoton particles. Oh Jesus!
Time.
Emitted by the clock, sometimes become lodged in the ship. Good God, are you kidding me? Okay, here's the deal. When the series was on, there was a certain amount of like,
There was a surge in
There
temporal
was a
energy.
surge in temporal energy.
And that's the
Seconds
sciencey
before the
explanation.
initiation of the transporter. Yeah, tell me it's a clue. It's a clue, all right. I just don't know what it means yet. Yeah, so, back when the series was ongoing, it was kind of a loving joke of, look at all this technobabble, nonsense.
Oh, sure.
After 25 years after it was on, that was actually a little bit hard for me to read. I have to be honest.
Yeah. It flows a lot better when O'Brien's saying it, though. But now what you see here is interesting because you actually see a multi-story building with lots of people stuffed into it. And then essentially like the Berlin Wall style behind them, right there behind Bashir, including like a large iron gate that basically keeps everyone in.
Yeah. And then what? And then we find a way home.
So, see, they are being, I don't want to say roughly handled, but they're being handled, and they're being taken in for processing.
They're definitely, they're being manhandled. I wouldn't, even DS9 was too genteel to show them actually like roughed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, not roughed up by the authorities.
By other.
But they'll get roughed up by other homeless people.
Well, yeah, because, this series was made by Americans, so that's how that's going to work.
Now, you see here, and when I went and did comedy in San Francisco before the plague times, like there were tents everywhere on the street. So this is not that different from the San Francisco that I've come to know. These guys are giving all the exposition text, by the way.
Wow.
What's that?
Okay. Just just your description of what's going on in the city. It's been a while since I've been down there.
Yeah.
So that it's gotten that bad.
It's bad.
Is, I can't say it's shocking, but it's disappointing.
But they were giving all the exposition text to what had happened there. And so now she's. What I love too is like, okay, you just went from that scene where you had everybody crammed into such a small space. His office, number one, very high up, very clean, tons of space, lots and lots of space, very orderly lines. And she's using his computer, which they thought that we would still have desktop consoles.
Yeah. There's a number of things about that.
Watch. Okay, hold that thought because they're going to talk about the tattoos, and this is so broy of him.
Just like everybody else
in the 90s.
I had to have it removed. Yeah.
Everybody doing that tribal bullshit.
Government contracts
that they weren't
have
tribes
to look
of.
like all the rest of the drones. Yeah.
So she passes off her trill marks as tattoos,
body art.
Yeah, and he mentions as a white guy, urban professional, and he's actually a tech bro, that he had a Maori tattoo down his arm. I love that.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were saying.
No, the failure of science fiction writers to predict the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time this was made, of course, it wasn't predicting the internet, but not being able to, or overlooking. I don't want to say not being able to, but the fact that the way our interlinked net connected present was like completely not thought of.
Right.
By
you say that
everybody,
but actually she just used the internet. She was on his terminal.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Let me change that a little bit. The ubiquity in our current world of Wi-Fi.
Sure.
is kind of more where I was going, and the idea that
Wi-Fi,
now we
sure.
have moved. Shit has moved into the cloud. We don't have the hard drive on your computer is almost turning into a vestigial device. Now, all that kind of stuff was, totally overlooked. Now they've been fingerprinted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the fact that they don't have an interface account. That's an interesting wrinkle. And you're both dressed like clowns. You figure it out.
So this is this is where, this is social services, but it's been defunded, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's been defunded, and the guys that are handling it are, it's a fabric badge, but it's still a badge, and shotguns. Like, this is literally the opposite of defunding the police.
Yeah.
I do find it remarkable that there was clearly a point made to select extras who were people of color.
Yep.
That
was very purposeful,
the scenes
too.
In the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is, the point that's being made there was, quite a point to be made for the 90s. Like, it's quite a thing. All right, so we have Technobabble, redirected where, not where, when. That's such a Star Trek Technobabble line.
Oh, yeah.
They arrived in San Francisco just like they were supposed to, but not when they were supposed to.
Right. And now you got to figure out, and this is basically the B story or a C storyline, because the B storyline would be Jadzia. This is the C storyline of trying to figure this out. So.
Yeah.
So, Cisco is sitting amongst a bunch of people who clearly are in need of medical care, mental health services. Yeah. And Bashir is actually trying to actually get things moving along.
That's 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in his very Bashir way.
Yep.
What I find in a character...
You're going to see a reveal here in just a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is actually, we're recording this, goddamn, about a week late. A week and 4 years late.
Yeah.
A week late and 4 years early.
Late and 4 years early.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
yeah. By the way, cute that they thought we'd get to the Celsius system by now.
Well, come on. By 2024, we have to have woken up from our, English system, imperial system nightmare, right?
Yes.
I mean, for God's sakes, the British Empire doesn't even use the imperial system anymore.
Right.
But we do. Oh, and we have, one of them having paid attention in history class and the other one not.
Which gives us exposition.
Those are moments and shows. Yeah, which gives us exposition. That's one of those moments I always enjoy as a history teacher is when one of the characters remembers what they studied and the other one's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You moron. Were you not paying attention in high school? Of course you weren't.
And now he's telling exactly what's going to happen. Where you have essentially the sanctuary riots, the Gabriel Bell riots.
Yeah. Starfleet. Okay, I love how Starfleet has a temporal displacement policy.
Yes.
Like what kind of freakish super science organization do you have to be part of where you could talk about the temporal displacement policy with a straight face?
Yeah, well, and an ethics organization too.
Yeah. Now what's really remarkable, of course, is that they are in the middle of a temporal displacement. So me saying that, I'm not giving them quite enough credit because clearly, that means that something like this has clearly happened before.
Right.
So
Yeah, well, we've seen several temporal episodes by this point anyway. So
this is true. That's a good point. Okay, I just want to take a second to give really great credit to Avery Brooks here.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean he's an amazing actor anyway, but in moments like this, is when you remember that he played Hawk in Spencer for Hire.
Spencer.
And he has that really the timbre of his voice and the way that he gets very serious that way. There's a level of gravitas he has in moments like this that's amazing.
Now I love this room. So they're working with a social worker. She's got a screen, not even a flat screen, very small screen on the wall. Yeah. But she look at how well they've dressed up her office. Paper everywhere. Stains on the wall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and then she's even saying, so again, we're getting a ton of exposition because this is part one of a two-parter.
Yeah.
But she's basically, do you have anything lined up? And she's explaining the way the system has broken down, and she's explaining it from the inside.
Yeah.
I'd also point out she's African American. She's an African American woman social worker.
Yeah.
So, but here's the interesting thing. They are restricted for their own safety by law.
Yeah.
And then
here
comes the paradox.
Somewhere to live. We're stuck in here. Yeah.
Right.
Catch 22. Yeah. How long does that usually take?
Yeah.
I wish I could give you an
answer. Yeah. And you basically, what with the economy and all.
Yeah, and
yep.
What I find remarkable about the actors here is you can see the differences in their having internalized their own characters.
Yes.
In the way the two of them are responding to this. Cisco is like, yeah, of course, right, duh. And Bashir, meanwhile, is like utterly baffled by all of this, because even in the classless society of the Federation, he's
upper crust.
He's an upper class twit. I say it lovingly, but he really is the upper class.
The first
twit.
3 seasons, he was very much that. That was a thing that he really pushed hard in it all. So and then we get to the B story So Dax is in the upper crusts, and she's getting all the help she needs. She's got a place to stay. She's got money. She's got all kinds of things. He's not actually making any passes at her. That's one of the things I like about this, is he's just a nice guy. But meanwhile, those guys just got told, you could stay anywhere you like, which is code for, we don't know, we don't care.
Yeah.
And for people who are wondering, we're at the 22-minute, 25-second mark now.
Yeah.
So we're roughly halfway through the episode.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very sympathetic portrayal of the tech bro, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I wonder, speaking of, everything is the product of the time in which it gets made. I wonder if his character would be as sympathetic if this was made today in the wake of the Me Too movement.
I don't know.
Him being,
that's a good question.
high-powered tech bro, her being a helpless woman in that situation. Because I had forgotten the B plot of this episode, and I'm remembering as we're going along, but I'm still expecting at any moment for there to be the, I kind of think you're hot, and I've done all this stuff for you.
He keeps her from opening the door kind of thing.
Yeah, and none of that has happened yet, which I think, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's almost naive.
Yeah.
They could cure that man now today if they gave a damn.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't give a damn, they've just given up.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now, this is, again, written at a time where homelessness was beginning its decline, but nobody knew that it was declining.
Yeah. But causing people to suffer because you have forgotten how to care.
Right.
See, and this is where we see that the upper class twit is actually a deeply decent guy.
Yes.
He is an upper class twit with, all the privilege in the world on his, as his baggage, but he is truly a soft-hearted, compassionate guy. And so, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Here we come to that line you were talking about.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, he should be breaking the fourth wall and just asking us that.
Yeah, he really should.
Yeah. By the way, good job, Jonathan
Frakes
directing. Like, there's a lot of exposition here. There's a lot of preachiness here, and he's keeping it fairly, organic. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you get to the aggressive homeless guy who probably needs mental care as well.
Well, certainly he's being played with some particularly wide eyes, which might be a thing. I want to know, where did they think in 1995, where did they think that all of these guys were going to get those hats?
Well, they're old hats.
In
so,
90,
I
understand that, but talking like we talked about Bryn, not wearing a necktie,
right?
Like, where as a costuming choice, who made the decision that we're gonna dress these guys like hobos from the 20s or the 30s? Like,
yeah, it's a good point.
Where
I think,
where did those?
Again, your complaint earlier about the cheapness.
Visual code. Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah, it is kind of a hobo
code,
code kind of thing, isn't
it? So I mean that's an explanation, but it feels like lazy costuming to me.
Yeah.
Through the polarized chronoton particles, technobabble. Where in time Cisco and the others are. I've narrowed it down to a dozen different possibilities.
Now, what's great about that is that you can have
technobabble.
little technical glitches that get them to different costuming surpluses, essentially. You know, you're going to go to San Francisco. What I would have loved is if they showed up in San Francisco during Time's Arrow and like you just see Data walking behind them real quick. So would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been remarkable stunt writing.
By the way, homeless guy playing with a toy there. Kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
A lot of cardboard everywhere. Yeah. They did a good job of dressing up, which again they would have seen. It's not like you had to go far, you know.
Yeah. If we ever get home, I promise never to complain.
Yeah.
About Station's Cardassian beds ever again.
I also love that Cisco is able to laugh about things. Like he shows so much range of emotional capability. Also, this also speaks to the warmth of their outfits because San Francisco at night is cold as fuck. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now, of course, this is being filmed in L.A.
True.
Which also, I mean, depending on which part of L.A. you're in,
can be cold.
You know, could also kind of can be if you're down, you know, in the more coastal regions, it can get pretty chilly at night, but not.
You see that
like
everybody's layered up, though. You see that there's fire pits everywhere.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah. And people are
Guy on the right looks a
squatting.
little bit like Sam Neill. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to get access to the roof. What he got to offer.
Hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yep. So you see tarps in the background. Like there's
Yeah.
And this is all very obviously a backlot set. I've seen these same building fronts when people are in New York. I've seen these same building fronts. It feels like I've seen the same ones in Twilight Zone, which I very well might have, because this is Paramount.
You probably could have.
Yeah.
This is Paramount, yeah. At least now we look like we belong here.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said for social camouflage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just throwing that out there. Oh, man. Oh, no. No.
What?
They're introducing a youngster who's in dire straits, illness, and my kid is a toddler. I might not be emotionally prepared for what's going to happen to this kid.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
He's it's really the focus here is on Bill Smitrovich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was the dad in Life Goes On, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to place where I'd seen him before.
Yeah. So Bashir can't help being a doctor and doing good doctory stuff.
Yeah, so, but here's the thing. So is he a Starfleet member first, or is he a doctor first? Because, okay, we can't interfere in the timeline, but as a doctor, he's taken the Hippocratic Oath.
Right. Well, and Cisco gives him some leeway. Oh, so this is the guy that got beat up the night before, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. But Cisco gives him some leeway because Cisco, he kind of danced the line quite a bit. Anytime they had an episode where they went to the alternate universe, which, by the way, they had like 4 or 5 of them, he had no problem interfering. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. Cisco, I'm going to solidly put Cisco in the category of neutral good.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
Because he I mean, it's later in the series. But he winds up, I mean, we know, spoiler alert for those of you unfamiliar with the series after 25 years. I remember one of the most pointed moments in the whole series is him recording a very long captain's log entry.
Hang on.
And then
he's talking about unionizing.
Oh, yeah.
Just organizing.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to get out of here.
Only way. Oh, there we go. So, of course, he's going to die because he's talking about organizing. Like, you can't let a leftist live and have it be a tragedy. Yeah. So, or he ends up being the one who gives them the plan to set everything up. Like, it's one of the two. Yeah. So anyway, extra long log entry.
Oh yeah, no, he winds up. It's after a whole bunch of skullduggery and chicanery has been committed, for the greater good of the Federation and civilization. And he winds up erasing the whole entry because everything he just admitted to is like 8 kinds of illegal.
Yes.
And massively and on top of that, massively unethical.
They had to cancel their
Neo-Trotskyists. We're going to put a stop to that.
No more luck than the Gaullists.
The Gaullists. Europe is falling. Yeah.
At least we don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Oh, so optimistic.
And, okay. And seeing these people all dressed up.
Yes.
I have to say, I was complaining about lazy costuming before, but I think I see something at work here. Mm-hmm. There's a very Art Deco aspect to all of their, all the upper crust stuff that they're wearing, and the feathers in her hair. By the way, that's a gorgeous hairstyle she's got on. I just I cannot get over that. and the materials and the
Oof.
cut, like the collar on her jacket,
Yeah.
is like, as a Dickens Fair fan, that like there is a very distinct kind of historical era involved
Sure.
in this. And so I think I see where those old hats are coming from. Is
Okay.
it's the everything old is new again, kind of retro idea
Okay.
in action here. That we're looking, they're queuing us up to understand that,
Oh,
her
mention of
hairdo
the
is
net, by the
reminiscent
way.
of Gibson. Oh, right.
Right.
Her hair is reminiscent of a Gibson girl.
Okay.
Um,
Now, while you're talking about
and so
costuming,
this
I
is
want to break in for just a second, because the rich people there, first off, there was pretty good racial representation in the rich too. But also the things that they were talking about, they even said, wait, they still have that? Like, they've completely ignored this 20 square block area that they don't have to see because they live so far, which gets back to what you were talking about in terms of, what do you call it? In terms of the Dickensian kind of aspect to it.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yep. Now is where the plot thickens.
Yeah.
Also, Picard, like, danced all over the place for Q and talked to him and argued with him. Cisco punched the shit out of him the first time he met him. Cisco does not give a fuck. He will punch you.
Yeah, no, Cisco, no,
he's
Cisco
like
won't just
Picard's
punch you. Cisco will shank you.
Yeah. But he's like Picard's morality plus Kirk's willingness to fight.
Yeah. He's Picard's sense of righteousness plus Kirk's willingness to mix it up is what it is.
Yeah. Now, this gentleman who helped get them into that building before, he's about to get stabbed. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
And notice no medical care.
Yep.
And his body's just kind of left there. And then the police show up.
Yep. And this is going to be the, sinking in the gut moment where they actually get a look at his ID.
Right.
And I mean, anybody who, saw the beginning of the episode and saw Cisco's, info dump earlier knows what they're about to realize. Because, I mean, there's no way.
The man who just got killed.
That man was Gabriel Bell.
Now, this will actually kind of shake up the C storyline.
Unified got him to a hospital. Yep.
Now, what's interesting is that Bell died in the riots anyway, right? So, in some ways, you kind of have, I'm not going to say lazy writing, but I'm going to say writing that is limited in scope and imagination, in that the black guy who preaches nonviolence gets killed.
Yeah.
So, I love that they're like, okay, we're going to dress like what we think people might.
Well, yeah, it's like wizards dressing up to try to go amongst the muggles. Like, yeah, that's the same kind of thing.
Yes,
and I do. I do
no.
appreciate.
Things are gonna fall apart now.
I'm not getting a response from Starfleet. Oh, shit. comm line went. Oh. Oh, hey, there are no Federation satellites in Earth orbit. Oh dear. The entire Earth satellite network. It's gone.
Because.
Yeah. Space docks, orbital habitats.
Yep.
Oh, Utopia Planitia. I love how they call it Utopia. It's like, let's just be pointed here. Or for the vicinity of Alpha Centauri.
And it's Romulans, because they've expanded.
Yeah. Might have somehow altered the timeline.
And so now it's really important to get things the right way.
Okay, why aren't we affected? But maybe. Oh, for God's sake. Why does everybody have to use the phrase singularity for... I mean, like, come on. Isolated it from the changes in the timeline. Yeah. One thing's for certain. Right now, this ship is all that's left of Starfleet. That's pretty heavy duty. So nobody was like shocked or stunned or like horrified when Cisco and Dax and Bashir had been disintegrated with no known destination where they were put back together. But now, oh God, we're all fucking horrified because there's no Starfleet.
Well, no, they figured out that they had been shot back in time, and they were trying to solve that problem. But now it's become that much more urgent.
Well, yeah, but before they figured out they'd been shot back in time, like when we went to the first commercial break, all that they knew was, well, they didn't show up anywhere that we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anyway, it just bugs me. That's all.
Now you get everybody at a rally with their families and their kids. Again, you've got people protesting.
Yeah.
Kind of funny because I think after this couple of episodes, he ends up, look at that big ass cell phone and where he hangs it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to rally.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the sanctuary, to give people in trouble food and a place to stay. Yeah. That's a pointed question.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dax. Thank you for pointing that out. Day after tomorrow. Try to be there and tell everyone else 500 people I talk to.
And you see a big old fire. Oh, no. There's the big old fire.
Yeah. Now we see Molotov cocktails being thrown.
And they're beating up the cops, and this is when the riots start.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again, what had happened just 2 years earlier? How does this not look a little bit like the Reginald Denny attack?
It does look like the Reginald Denny attack.
And then you have, and this is the thing that bothers me a bit about pretty much any show in the 90s that does tackle social justice stuff, is that you always, they handle racism, but they handle it in such a way where the black people are at once the saviors and the ones who are themselves also racist, and they had to learn about themselves too.
Yeah.
Like, it's really catering to white fragility a lot.
Oh, well, yeah.
So now you've got the tension between the guy who's prone to violence and everyone else.
It's okay. Let's get this guy's name and try to remember from high school history whether this guy died in the riots or not.
Right.
And if he did, let's push history along a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I already don't like Kid Rock here.
Oh, shit. That's it. That's who he reminds me of. Oh, goddamn.
Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
No, you're not wrong. He's like a less racist Kid Rock. Oh, and then you claimed his name.
Yeah, well, because somebody has to.
Yeah, now that is to be continued.
Policy. Yeah.
So, to be continued, right. Which means the next episode will be the final episode of this. So we finally developed it. We finally got it off the ground. And usually that's what happens is you end up padding the first episode of a two-parter a bit, and then you make sure that it cliffhangs on the major drama, and then the whole second episode is the payoff of that.
You set it up. You set it up, and then the second act is where you get to the payoff.
Yes. So what do you think so far?
Again, Cisco is just the boss. Like, there's no everybody always wants to talk about, well, Picard or Kirk or who, and I'm like, well, okay, Cisco. And I'm a big Picard fanboy. Patrick Stewart is like goals for me.
Yep.
But Cisco is the
he's attainable.
Is the he's the one that it's like, okay, no, look, if I was actually put into that kind of leadership position, I would not be able to be as staunch in my eternal rectitude as Picard. And I don't want to wind up being the absolute id of everybody on my crew like Kirk.
Right.
So Cisco is no. Here's the deal. I have a moral compass that is immensely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what is right and I know what is wrong, and I also know what needs to get done in order for the right thing to happen.
Right.
And and again, solidly neutral good. Like,
mm-hmm.
I believe, he is a guy who is obviously part of the system. He's a Starfleet, officer, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But so he believes in the institution, he believes in the system, but he also looks at it and goes, okay, no, look, I'm going to do what's the right thing to do, whether that's the rules or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's and Avery Brooks portraying him just like there's almost too much charisma going on there. And then I did not like Bashir. Like, I actively disliked Bashir for at least the first two seasons of the show, just because he was such a twit. Oh my God, aren't you supposed to be existing in a society where privilege like yours doesn't fucking exist? Like, doesn't your entire attitude disprove the success of Starfleet? Like, or the Federation, I should say. Like, come on. And then to find out that he's a genetically engineered augment.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert. It's just like, well, but of course he is, because he's just so smart and so pretty. Like, how could he not be?
Right.
And seeing him here, I think this is one of those steps toward understanding that no, I need to give this character a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his humanity really
because
starts to develop because he's not just a fuckboy.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
He
spent the
stops-
first
he-
season trying to be a fuckboy. And the second season, he was just a twit. And then you're like, no, he's actually got depth. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I think what you said about the 1990s lens of trying to be progressive and the limits of what that meant
Mm-hmm.
in terms of portrayal of characters of color and especially African American black characters, that there were these really limited set of tropes that they were allowed to operate in, because majority culture was still not ready for them to have like full agency.
Right.
I don't know if agency is the right word for that, but they had to fit into the kind of magical minority stereotype, or they had to be they couldn't be balanced, flawed people.
Right.
Yeah. And as much as this is very obviously making a point, I'm not even going to say trying to make a point, it's making a point.
Mm-hmm.
It's still mired in that culture.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
cool.
Yeah, I think that's an observation that's well worth kind of hitting again.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, how to put this, the subject matter of the episode kind of makes me sad. Well, does make me, it's kind of depressing that, like, I'm looking at this going, somebody could be writing this about 5 years from now, and I'd still be like, yeah, okay, that's near future, sadly I can see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still way too relevant, and that's depressing. But at the same time, I can look at the way it's written, and I can see that we've gotten to a place where our narrative is better in that way, or it can be better. It's not always better, but it can be better than that.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
We have started to get to a place where the stories we tell give room for non-white characters to be people.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that they kind of weren't allowed to be in 95.
Yeah,
and that's hopeful.
Yeah. I think I'm going to push back a little bit on that, because you go the other way too. In Star Trek universe, like his ethnicity is really never touched, which is fine. But at the same time, you're erasing things. And Cisco brings it up when they all start to go into the holodeck and start to do like this heist film kind of episode, and he's like, I'm not going to do it. And his girlfriend at the time, she's like, why not? He says, because we weren't treated like equals back then. This is some bullshit. Like, this is a fantasy. This is not real history. And then, and then they kind of make amends about it. But, like, he brings it up, his blackness. And also his blackness is brought up in the episode where he goes back in time. I think he gets some sort of fever, and he dreams that he's a sci-fi writer, which is just, it was a phenomenal episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, everybody does,
That's, like... Yeah, oh, yeah.
So that tackles his blackness, too. But, like, I think if you end up too far in the future, you end up erasing people's cultures. And if you...
Well, yeah.
And if you stick to the old tropes of their stuff. So it's a hard line to dance. I do think so. And I think that... I think DS9 actually did a pretty good job of it. I think Voyager took steps backwards because they kind of fetishized Chakotay. They completely desexed Ensign Harry for a little while, and then they oversexed him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They screwed. Harry got screwed over like
Yeah.
6 ways to Sunday. It just like
And never promoted.
of all of the of all of the butt boys of the writers of Star Trek. Harry is just the poor son of a bitch. Yeah. And your point is well made, and I think Cisco gets the opportunity Cisco does get the opportunity over the course of the series to do that, and I think it's important that he did. I think it was groundbreaking that he did. But I'm kind of talking in broad terms. I'm not so much just talking about DS9 here. I'm talking about in broad terms, talking about the narratives that there were at this time. In other shows, in other places, we didn't get to see that. And we do see that in different places over the course of this series.
Yep.
But this series was one of the ones that actually started saying, you know what, this is going to be a part of this character's personal history. This is part of this character's family history, and we need to be honest with it, and we need to be true with it. And we have Avery Brooks, who I'm just going to continually stan the whole time we're talking about this because he's an amazing actor, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it. And it's like we have this guy who, like, we can give him this stuff to work with, and he will do amazing, compelling shit with it. So let's do it. And
consciously so too. He absolutely chooses those choices. Like, if you listen to interviews with him, he's a little crazy sounding in his interviews, but at the same time, like, he is dialed in on I am a black man in charge of something on TV. I am a black father. I am going to portray the warmth of fatherhood. I'm going to portray the responsibility. I'm good. Like, he was very, very much dialed into the conscientiousness of his role.
Yeah, well, outside of our podcast together, I know you've talked at length about rewatching the series.
Yeah,
and especially the issues of fatherhood with Cisco and Jake being a thing, and for the time in which it was made, that was groundbreaking. And I think, again, Avery Brooks and the writers and the production team for this series deserve a lot of credit for kind of breaking ground with that.
Yep.
Because every place else but here, and in this episode, we're kind of seeing it, that we have this nodding to white fragility kind of over and over and over again, and that was just that was the landscape. And since then, partly because of what the writers did with Cisco and what later series and later shows have been able to do, we're now in a place where if this kind of writing showed up in a show today, mainstream TV critics would criticize it for, well, we have these tropes of the black savior and the this, that, and the other. These people are being troperized. It would be a criticism. And so I think the fact that we've gotten to a place where that is something that would be criticized is a reason to be hopeful.
I could see that. Yeah. Like an odd indicator, but yeah.
Yeah. But people who wouldn't have been aware of it then are aware of it now.
Yep.
And, and it's a thing. So yeah. Just great TV all around.
Yeah,
like
awesome. I agree. So we're gonna watch the next episode next week. And so
yes,
keep everybody. That's the fun thing about binging now too, is I don't have to wait weeks between stuff. Which the downside is that I don't grow with the characters.
Have to wait weeks.
But the upside is that
true.
I can notice patterns a lot quicker. So.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. For nerdery like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Being able to binge a whole series in 5 days is amazing.
Yeah.
A downside to binging is, of course, having to go to work the following morning.
True. Very true.
It's just one more episode.
Right.
It's 1:00 in the morning. Okay.
I'm almost done with the series. Okay. Yeah.
I'm almost done. Yeah. It's just like,
but you can start to
I'll
see.
phone it in tomorrow.
you can start to see narrative structures. You can start to see like recurring characters, recurring themes a lot easier when you're binging. But the downside is you're not growing as a person as these characters are growing. And I do think that there's something lost in that. So, hey, what's that?
No, I just said I can see that. That makes sense. That's a valid argument.
Yeah. Any books you want to recommend? Any shows you want to recommend besides Deep Space Nine?
I'm if we're going to talk about shows with an overall narrative arc, we did a couple of episodes about it. I'm going to highly recommend folks go back and look at the reboot of Battlestar Galactica. Because as much as the episodes of DS9 that we're watching right now are sadly relevant to our current political situation,
sure,
the issues that come up in several different storylines over the course of Battlestar Galactica about military involvement in law enforcement and the role of government versus the military, how powerful should the government be, all of those issues, religious fundamentalism. I mean, it's so much stuff that series touched on so brilliantly, and again talking about a great set of actors, really getting their teeth into some really good writing. I really recommend everybody go back and take a look at BSG also.
That's really worth doing. I like that.
So how about you? Any reading recommendations? Any other series?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to say, and you can also find this on Amazon. So when you're done watching this with us, there's something that came out in, I want to say 2018, 2019, I forget which. It's called What We Left Behind, and it's essentially the entire cast of Deep Space Nine gets back together and talks about what they did 20 years ago. You get the writers. They even like storyboard out a new episode, like a new season. It's kind of fun. And they have, and it starts with Garrick singing. And then it goes to all the Ferengi. I think the Ferengi sing to end it. I mean, it's just hilarious.
Okay.
But they don't dress anybody up in makeup or anything like that. But they touch on all kinds of stuff with it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say, check that out. And if I'm going to leave it there. Check that one out. That's worth checking out. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, where can we find you
on
the social medias?
Okay. On the various strands of social media, you can find me on Twitter at ehblaylock. You can also find me on TikTok at ehblaylock. I actually recorded a TikTok earlier today for the second time. And on Instagram, I am at Mr. Blaylock, BLAYLOCK. And of course, if you want to tell us we're wrong about anything, or preferably tell us how right we are about something, you can find us collectively on Twitter at Geek History Time. And where can they find you, sir?
If you're looking for me, you can find me at Duh Harmony. That's Duh Harmony on the Twitter and the Instagram, 2 H's in the middle. You can also find me every Tuesday night at twitch.tv/Capital Puns, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will be slinging puns with the best pun slingers in all of, from here all the way to England so far. And so, it's a good tub of fun. I invite you to dive into it. But again, if you want to yell at me for my inability to understand certain things that came out in the episode, I mispronounced a name or something like that, hit me up at Duh Harmony on the Twitter. So, for Geek History of Time, I am Damian Harmony.
And I'm Ed Blaylock. And until next time, make it so.